So today, Nike released its highly anticipated collab with Off-White, producing the Air Force 1 Mid. You've just entered the intermission, and we're going to talk a little bit about my experience at the Off-White mixer and the sneakers itself. Welcome to the intermission. What's up, guys? I'm your host, King, and I have to tell you, today's episode is going to be bittersweet as we're going to talk about the Nike collab with Off-White, the Air Force 1 Mid. So before we jump into that, I want to talk a little bit about how I was able to get my hands on the sneaker. So I know a lot of people were either waiting in line or you had to go on the sneakers app, GOAT, or a third party to get these shoes, but my experience was a little bit different. So before we even jump into the shoe, I want to talk about exactly what happened that night. That is an experience that I will never forget. So upon entering the store, now the Off-White clientele is just a little bit different. We greeted with drinks, happy faces, the whole thing. Now we were there to see the unveiling of the shoe, but what I took away from it was a little bit more. I got to meet people who actually worked with Virgil, who was close with the design, who was close with not only the store and its employees, but him himself. I got to tell people my story and I got to hear theirs. To be a part of that, it really felt good. So thank you again to everyone at Off-White. Now let's jump right into the shoe. All right, so by now you've seen the two colors. We have a black and we have a white. And I must say, a lot of people are saying that this shoe is a little bit bittersweet because this is Virgil's last shoe that he actually designed. And that is true, but to a certain extent. Now we know we have the green Air Force Ones that will be coming out, the low tops that are going to be coming out. So, you know, there are a lot of shoes that he worked on. Before we jump into the shoe, I'm going to start with the box first because to me as a collector, the box kind of says it all. The packaging itself, obviously if you look behind me, you can see what I'm talking about. So with the Off-White box, it actually took on a mind of its own. All right, so upon looking at the box, we look at a brick box, and if you stick around to the end of the video, I will tell you what this box means. I know a lot of people don't know, but I kind of have an idea. Now this is from all the people that I spoke to at Off-White, so I kind of have an idea about what this box means. But opening in the box, you have an array of the green colorway with the blue paper. It looks awesome. It definitely stands out. I love everything about the box, to be honest with you. And I don't want to spend too much time on the box, but I got to say, this against a wall on a shelf or something, it's almost like a collectible. These shoes to me are a piece of art. Starts with the box, and now we'll jump into the design of the shoe.
Round one, fight!
All right, so we have the black pair, we have the white pair. My favorite is going to be the black, and I'm going to stick with the black first just because you can see a lot more of the details on the black shoes. So let's talk about the Air Force 1 to begin with. So the Air Force 1 is going to be a staple not only here in New York, but everywhere. You got United States, global, probably even on Mars. Everybody knows what the Air Force 1 is. So this was a huge undertaking on Off-White and Virgil's part to take a shoe like almost the Air Jordan 1 and kind of just put your own spin on it, and it actually looks amazing. So let's start with the obvious signs of the Off-White, which is going to be the hang tag. You have a bright orange hang tag, and on the side you have the stitching. On the toe box of the shoe, you have a wavy, almost like see-through sheer material. Now you can see through this, or you can't see it right now, but you can see through this if I decide to take the paper out. It's basically translucent, and you can see through that. That is really one of the only things that's not my favorite about the shoe because I'm not up on my sock game, and you got to have some really cool socks to be in this shoe because they can definitely see through this, which makes it good for the summertime too, because wearing high tops in the summertime, especially here in New York, it's going to be a fashion statement, but you got to be able to have your foot breathe, man. Now we see a lot of the newer Off-White features with the second lacing, and it's starting to become almost a standard with the Off-White. Now we saw that with the Nike Blazer and the Nike low top dunks, and now we're seeing it on the Air Force 1. On the tongue, we see something a little bit different. We have the Nike Air, which is going to be written in almost a graffiti font. And of course, for the mids, you have the strap, but here in New York, you keep that off. So on the inner part of the shoe, you have a different type of material. It's almost a stronger mesh, and it has support here in the back for your ankle. Now we do have the outlining of the stitching on the outside, which is normally on the inside of the shoe. We have a pull tab on the back, and new for the Air Force 1 is going to be the air bubble, which is actually really cool. The air bubble was never on the Air Force 1, but it's not on the inside of the shoe, it's only on the outside of the shoe. And the cool thing about this is if you look at the stitching that goes around on the midsole, kind of gets a little wavy on the back end. And that's actually a cool design, something new for the Air Force One. Take a look at the vamp of the shoe. We have a lace lock. I love lace locks. I believe this became popular first on the Air Jordan 5. I could be totally wrong, but I love lace locks on the shoe. I must say that on the white pair, a little bit different. So the toe box on the white pair is going to be straight across with this material, and on the black pair, it's a little bit wavy in the front. Subtle differences on each shoe, but cool. On the side, you have the off-white Nike Air Force One, 1982, Beaverton, Oregon, and that was the year the Air Force One was designed. Another cool feature about the Air Force One that everybody is really not into is going to be the spikes. Now, I think that this brings out the shoe a lot. Now, we saw this on the 𝐒𝐲 5 that Virgil did, and we also saw it on the Nike Air Tempo, I believe it was, where you saw the spikes. People were cutting these off. I think these are gonna wear down maybe at the time. But I actually like them on the shoe. I think this is what makes the shoe. I'm weird, y'all, so y'all know that it's gonna be something different from me. Now, taking a look at both sneakers, we can see that the spikes are actually gonna be almost a different colorway on the top level of the spike versus the bottom. Now, my only thing that I don't really like about the shoe is, you see over here, you have like this little block that's, it's like extruding from the shoe. I feel like I just want to rip this off, man. This is the bottom of the shoe. You can kind of see it here. That's like my only, I don't know why, I'm just not a fan of that sticking out there, but I'm sure Virgil has a purpose for that. But like I said, you don't have to like everything about a shoe to be a fan, all right? And I will say that this shoe is probably not only a work of art, but it's gonna be a collector's piece. So I'm gonna get back to the box because a lot of people really don't know what the story behind the box is, why the bricks, and this is what I was told from a close friend of Virgil, is that the Air Force One was one of the building blocks of Nike, right? It almost was. Now, don't take this out of context, not another brick in the wall, right? But it was a building block. It was part of the wall. This is one of the shoes that built Nike. This is one of the shoes that made Nike stand out. And that is the reasoning from behind the brick. So that's what I was told from a close confidant and one of the members that was at Off-White. So I hope that kind of helps. And it actually makes a lot of sense. There's a couple of sneakers that are, in my opinion, going to be a building block of Nike. The Air Cortez is going to be one of them, the Air Jordan, the Air Force One. Virgil really worked hard on how to make something last forever. We are still looking at that Nike Air Jordan 1. That shoe will forever be popular. We're still looking at some of the Nike Air Force One low tops. That's going to be popular. We even saw it with the Louis Vuitton Air Force Ones, which I was fortunately not able to get my hands on. So what are your favorite things about the shoe if you were able to get your hands on it? Let me know what you guys think about the shoe in the comments. I really enjoy the shoe. I really like the shoe. Also, I want to thank Paris Flacco for making the music for this episode. And speaking of Paris, why are we both recording? You better hurry up and get out of here.
My forearm is crazy. And he got these. Yo, we looking like above the rim right now.
I know it. Once again, guys, I want to thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of The Intermission. Check out these other videos if you guys have any questions about the Virgil Abloh story or any of the shoes that he designed. I'm your boy King. Peace.